Satnam, have you ever thought about, I'm just going to jump straight in. Have you ever thought, and this is so massive what I'm about to say, about the way you perceive the world? So right now, what are you struggling with? Do you think the world is, it's a struggle? It's hard to make money. It's hard to have enough energy. It's hard to find the right relationship or to find your purpose or to whatever it is. Do you feel life's a struggle, or do you feel like, yeah, I'm pretty alone, I don't really have that, like, a tribe, or have that many people that get me, or feel like I have people hanging around a lot? Or do you feel like a victim, like, oh, things happen to me and I can't do anything about it, and people seem to attack me. I don't really feel like people are really aggressive towards me a lot, and I don't feel safe a lot of the time, and it's a real mean world out there. So whatever you see, whatever your lens is of the world, you're creating that. And I know what you might say, but it is hard to make money, or it is hard to, or life is like this, or I am like, but I'm not that smart, I never went good at school, or yeah, I've never been good with or whatever the thing is. Have a look back at your childhood, so 0 to 7, or maybe the first 10 years. What was the broadcast? Meaning, what was the energy that you were receiving from your caretakers? Were they saying things like money doesn't grow on trees? Were they, working away and then just didn't have any time to play with you? And was that the broadcast that you received? Okay. Have a feel. And do you think if you weren't in that family, just say you were in my family or a family over here who are like very different, maybe they're, whatever, super wealthy or super just laughing all the time, or just traveling the world all the time, or whatever's going on, or just always, making dinner together or whatever, do you think you would get a different broadcast? And do you think now you'd have some different beliefs and different ways of seeing the world? This is what's happening for a lot of people. We haven't got over our childhood, and so we're literally beaming out the broadcast from our childhood out to the world. We're navigating our world, our work relationships, and we're just replaying our childhood. Do you see what I'm saying? Please give me some comments if anyone wants to put anything in the chat. And the exciting thing is through this technology of japa, meaning repetition, you become your environment. And we know that when you put a cell in a petri dish and you put fat around it, it becomes fat. If you put protein, it becomes protein. If you put whatever, it becomes that. So you become your environment, meaning if you sit on the mat and do this every day and chant and clear, you become that. You become a higher frequency. That's what we're doing here. If there's people eating hot chips around me all the time, not practicing, talking about all the things on the news, to a degree, like, we will become that. We will empath that. We will get affected by that to a degree. However, we have the power to create our own reality. So you do want to be careful who you're around. And the next step is create your environment and repeat it. So have the mantras playing, do the practice every day, even if it's 15 minutes, get in the cold shower, read the positive books, have plenty of notes of money in your wallet. The big one, say thank you to everything that you love. Say thank you. I love this scarf. Oh, I love it. That's telling the universe, telling the intelligence that runs the show, hey, bring me this. If you're saying, oh, look at house prices, is this like, how could I ever afford a house? You just get that back. How could I ever afford a house? How can I ever, I can't ever afford to have that. That's what it will be. But if it's just like one thing that I'm doing right now, if you want to write it down, and so many more inquiries and bookings and people are contacting me. It's happened in the last couple of days since I've been saying this, and just seeing it in my consciousness is, thank you, God, for $25,000 coming unexpectedly into my bank account. You can say it a bit different if you want, something like, thank you, God, for $25,000 in unexpected earnings coming into my bank account within the next 30 days. And just by, you got to feel it as well. So when I say it, I kind of feel like, oh, like, yeah, I'm going to be making more money. Yeah, like not like in a hustle way, just in a cool, yeah, of course. It's like a good feeling, not in a like, oh, will I? And, you know, oh, maybe it's not going to work. It's just like, put those thoughts to the side. Self-doubt reduces our energy by 30%. And just write those words down. And every day, just say it. I say it as soon as I wake up. I say it whenever I catch myself many times through the day talking rubbish to myself. And then I say, oh, thanks, God, for $25,000 just coming into my account in the next 30 days unexpectedly and unexpected earnings. Amazing. Okay, go and make my tea now. And so that's a great thing to do, is to just programming yourself. And like in this, there's one session that I've done before. We were actually in the park. I did a community event, and I think it was like we were chanting victory, victory, victory. It was just so freaking powerful. If you want to do that right now, victory, victory, victory. And you just feel, you're just commanding victory. But in a life, you're usually like, oh, you know, could I kind of write the blog post? What will they think of me? Or, you know, could I go and date people and put myself out? I don't know about that, you know. See, we don't usually just go victory, victory. So it's just getting in the habit of just commanding. Yogi Bhajan said, there's not a lack of supply. And how many times have you heard that? Have you heard that? Tell me, have you heard that there's not a lack of supply? People say that. Have you heard it? Yeah, many of you have heard it. There's only a lack of demand, meaning there's a lack of prayer. There's a lack of commanding what you desire in your heart. You know, a lot of people that I mentor, a lot of women that come to the sanctuary events, that have my mentoring, they don't know what they want. So that's okay if we're in that state of confusion and blockage. It's even scary. This is how downtrodden and disempowered the human race has become. It's like, oh, could I actually ask for what I want? God forbid, in a relationship, in a love, in a marriage, you know, just say you're in a marriage, and the amount of women that I have seen who are not even knowing that they can feel, what do I desire, and then ask for that. It's very common, you know. It's not, I'm not putting anyone down. I'm saying, like, you know, and it's where we've come from. We've come from a really dark time of wars and repression and just chaos and this, and we're just kind of meandering out of it in this time that's still chaotic. And so all these practices are completely necessary. And if you keep hitting up against a wall, like you kind of think you got a break, like you kind of make a bit more money, or you kind of get a bit more energy, or maybe you have a good dance at the party, but then you're kind of just hitting up a wall of like feeling tired, feeling a bit lackluster, feeling like that, like fearful, feeling you know, like in struggle street. It's just, it's just a broadcast from your childhood. If this is like what's been going on for like years, or as long as you can remember, since you were like, it's the broadcast, and we can disconnect from that. We rise above it in these practices, and we look at having an environment that is high frequency, you know, our home as well, our friendships, our relationship, our food, our clothing, everything. And then we also jump up, repeat, and then the neurons change in your brain. And guess what? You can create what you're here to create. And Guru Jagat, some of you know her, some of you don't. She's my teacher who, she left her body. She passed away a year ago. And I did her special class yesterday, I think it was. And she left early. She did her mission. She became what she's here to do. She opened multiple studios. She gave Rama Institute for Applied Yogic Science and Technology in LA. She created it and she opened many centers and a global network. And then she left and she finished her mission. And she actually spoke about, that's a good life if you get done what you came here, and then you can just, you know, meander into the next stage or whatever happens after this life. So it's a great higher perspective. Like if you've lost loved ones, or if you're feeling like you're struggling, or if, you know, everyone is to a degree. It's like, this is common. Don't think it's just you. If people are, you're seeing the cheesy smiles and the bikinis on Instagram and you're thinking, oh my gosh, why do they seem to have it so easy? No, if you really look into their life, it's a lot of struggling or a lot of fakeness or whatever's going on. And so don't feel bad. We need a disciplined practice, and we just need to get to know ourselves. When we get to know ourselves, and like knowing is awareness, you can start to see the neurosis, the ramming on of your brain of the past, of like your ex-boyfriend 5 years ago, and you're replaying these events and you're like, this is such a waste of my energy, stop doing this. And then you could say, thanks God for allowing $25,000 to come into my life. You could click play on one of these classes and you start to just, oh, I don't want to be in the past anymore. Okay, I'm going to command the space right here. Okay, I'm going to breathe deep. All right, I'm going to go do these practices or put a mantra on. And those moments get bigger and bigger. And then you're more creating your life right now. And you're not projecting your family story broadcast into the now. And it's helpful to know as well, when you're dealing with a loved one, a friend, thingy, an employee, and you can see people getting triggered and, you know, they're writing an angry email. Like I got an angry email from a really angry email. A guy, we didn't have availability for him for a retreat at the sanctuary. We didn't have availability, and he was super angry and he flared up a couple of times last month. And then, you know, and I thought, like, I'm just going to try and call this guy. I couldn't find his phone number. I didn't have his phone number. So I just wrote, here's my phone number. If you want to call me. And I just projected super like positive, creative energy at him. Just like, you know, hey, I'm so sorry for feeling like that. Makes sense. I'm happy to do this for you. I'm happy to add that. I'm happy to give this as a you know, a freebie and a thing. You know, I can totally see, you know, I wasn't being a pushover or anything, but just saying, like, anyway, I don't know what exactly I said, but I said it firmly, but with super beautiful energy. And I think I wrote much love and Satnam Alexis. And then he came back and he's like, yeah, well, you know, this is actually it's an anniversary gift for me and my, you know, partner, and we've been wanting to go for so long, and it's just been like such a delay, and maybe you can work. And, you know, he just needs to be heard. There's a lot of anger in there and frustration. And so you get to kind of get less hooked into the reaction of like, oh my gosh, who's this person think they are? And, you know, like a battle. You can like kind of take a breath and say, okay, they're probably projecting their childhood and what went on then into this moment, and they're not doing a practice, and they're really just letting it all out on me because there's no other outlet. And I'm not saying to put up with anything, but it saves you a lot of energy and time, and then you can just keep going on your purpose. For those that think, well, what is my purpose? Like you keep saying, oh, you know, lucky you know your purpose. You're running the sanctuary and you're doing mentoring with women, and it wasn't always like this. I went to university and studied commerce. I didn't know what to do. I was at high school, and I remember a teacher said, great work. I got like awarded to be in the best people in drama or something like that. I can't remember. It's, you get nominated to be in the best thing in drama in the HSC, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I remember the teacher just saying, wow, you did so well in drama and all the things you did, and maybe you could do something in commerce, in marketing, in with creativity, and they said something like that. I remember them saying, and the word just went bing, marketing, like, because I was trying to search for like, who am I? Like, what should I do? I didn't know. And it was one glimmer of hope that I had. And so I just marketing. And then my best friend at the time, she was just going to university studying psychology. She just was doing it, and she's like, why don't you just come to university? And I'm like, I don't know, like, should I go, like, what would I study? I didn't have any direction at that time. I was 18 years old, and I just thought, marketing, commerce. And I was just looking at it, and I enrolled and I did it. And then I worked in marketing in the city, in a small company there, doing promotional products and promotional products for businesses, marketing and promotion, my first job. And then I went to England. I worked for Coca-Cola doing project management in their marketing division. And then I was totally lost. I was just getting through the day. I was wearing a grey suit, trying to fit in. And I remember at Royal and Sun Alliance, called RSA, they're like the head office of this insurance company that I also worked at in London, next to the Gherkin. And I'm wearing, my grey like designer suit, and I'm trying to fit in, and I was just so feeling really, really bad, like nervous, weird feelings, not knowing why, only 23 years old. And I was in that position. I was an executive assistant of a woman who is, you've got like the top of the company people, the directors. And so she's just one under like the top of the company. You've got the board of directors, and she was the director of the whole division. And so I'm her executive assistant, and it was just so stressful. So she had her own, it's all open plan office, and they're like the big cafes over there, and you kind of see the big England view out the window, and it's all it's just like the head corporate office of a huge building, gorgeous building. And she'd sit behind me, but she'd have her own open air, like a pod, like a big square, she's like the director, and I'm sitting out, I'm only 23 years old, and I'm just like, what is life? Like, what is this? And I worked with a consultant, and geez, like, he'd get paid like, it's just huge figures, and he's the consultant to her. So he'd scurry in, and he's like my friend, and she's like, what was his name? I can't even remember now. He had like white hair, and like a really nice guy. And she's like, we're friends on Facebook. She's a beautiful lady, but very, caught up in this corporate fiction, and wearing the grey suit. And she's just like, Gary, get in here. And he's like, scurries, and I'm just sitting out there like, I just thought this is what life is. I've never, had many jobs before, much life experience. And so I was just like, what is this world? And what did she, oh yeah, she said to me, Alexis, don't ever be seen in anything feminine. Don't ever have any flowers on your desk. Don't ever wear anything, just do not ever do that. Okay. No one will take you seriously. Like, it was like this, and I'm just like, oh my God, okay. Like, holy moly, what? Okay, like, I was just thinking, okay, that's the truth. Like, that's so. Anyhow, what I'm saying is, I went from that universe into this. Like, what? I didn't know this existed. I didn't know about healing. I couldn't even feel my body at that stage. And I took a chance when I was 26, I think, and I came out of a nearly 5-year relationship, and after that was partying a lot. It was just always had a lot of energy and passion, but didn't know where to channel it. Didn't know who am I? What am I here to do? And I got to a stage where I had really bad sporting injuries. The left shoulder was ripped, the ligaments here were all ripped, and I was in a neck brace as well from competitive sport. I even still suffer from some aches and pains sometimes and get headaches and migraines. And so I play competitive sport, got injured, and it was just a coincidence that it was like there and there at similar times, and I was like at a desk, so it was horrific, the pain I was going through, and the post-traumatic stress, anxiety, low feelings, pain that I went through, and I didn't have any support to get out of it. And I went to the doctor. People were like saying, what's wrong, go to the doctor, and they said, take the pills, it sounds like you're depressed, have these pills. And I just never, the inner feeling in here, the inner truth, the soul never luckily went, oh, okay. It just was like, I'm happy though. Like, I'm a happy person. I'm Lex. Like, I'm a happy-go-lucky, sporty, fun person. And it just didn't add up. And luckily, a woman in the office where I was working took me out to the park, and we did some yoga, and I felt amazing after. And I was like laughing, feeling happy, going, the pain's gone. Like, geez. And so then I started doing yoga, and I moved to the city, and I was just going all around Sydney, all the studios, trialing them all out, just delving into it, just feeling like, wow, I feel good now. The stress and anxiety and fear is just leaving me. And so I went on like a journey for maybe some months, and then I found this lineage. I found Kundalini Yoga. A friend where I was working, she just kept saying, you've got to check this studio out, you've got to check this studio out. KM Yoga, Kundalini Meditation Yoga. And then I was driving one day, I remember the exact place, it was just in Sydney, in Bondi area, and it said, just go to KM Yoga. So I googled it, I booked it, and the first class I said, where do I study this? And then the teacher, Maya Stange, said at Golden Bridge. I looked it up, and I thought, whoa, maybe I'll go there. And at that same time, I was reading a book called The Subconscious Mind, and it said to do an activity, because I just also finished studying a year of kinesiology, and then also I think personal training. I was just studying, like trying to find, myself, and hopefully I could do something good one day. And it said, if you're not sure if you're at a bit of a crossroads, say to your subconscious mind every morning and night, show me my true place in life, show me my true place in life, show me my true place in life, and just kind of repeat it for, a minute or a few minutes, fall asleep, say it when you wake up, and just kind of put the intention out, like, hey, show me my purpose, or show me the next step of my life. And then I woke up, I think a week later, with the words in my mind saying, change your life, Rishikesh. And I nearly didn't hear it, and I was like, change your life? Like, it's like I didn't say that thought. It wasn't my ego yapping. It was like words came in, and I just managed to hear it. And I was like, what's Rishikesh? So I Googled it, and it was, oh, and the training came up, the ashram came up, where like the Kundalini yoga training that the teacher said to go to, that I looked up. It's that ashram with the training there came up, and I'm like, okay, like, and I think I just booked it then. I'm like, that's all right, I meant to do it, go book, and I just booked it, and I didn't think too much about it. And I also booked the Kumbh Mela. If you want to look that up, it's mind blowing. KUMBH, Kumbh Mela, MELA. That's the biggest spiritual gathering on the planet at the cross of the Ganga and the other river in India. And I just thought, this is, I don't know, I just felt interested in it. I somehow saw something on the internet, and I kept looking at it, all this saints and sages and people jumping in the river, and I'm like, and it coincided when I was there, and I went there. And so there's lots of fear. There was lots of like, oh my gosh, like, is this safe? Like, because it's quite intense what I did, but I still did it. And that's really the main thing, is just taking action and never giving up, and just continuing to plod forward along and learn something, add it to your toolkit and go forward. Don't listen to anyone else. Only you have the answer in you. Many people said, how are you ever going to run a business? Or remember a man where I worked, he said something like that, like, yeah, but you can't run a business. Like, he said something really, and like, I also think like 27, and just before I left, and I was really feeling bad, like, yeah, because I didn't know he's just projecting his own BS onto me at that stage. Don't listen to anyone else. Only you have the answers inside of you. Know that a lot of people are going through a lot. It's not just yourself, and it's not just you that feels hopeless sometimes, or lackluster, or tired, or just self-doubting, or not sure of your purpose, or don't take it don't be too hard on you. It's like, there's both sides of the coin. Don't be hard on yourself, don't beat yourself up, but don't waste time. There's two sides. Life's very precious. Don't waste time. Get on it, get and practice. Time is short. My teacher's already gone. She's only 40 years old. And the other thing is, be loving to yourself. Don't take life super seriously. You're frozen in fear and worry. That's like a fine line of seeing both sides of the coin. And yeah, I left Sydney, and I went and trained in India. And then I went to Goa, and I spent a few months, just training and sharing, meandering and teaching. And then I came back, and my consciousness raised so much, I really could see people really clearly, like who they really are, and the fake games that people play. And it was a real shift in my consciousness. And then it's actually blurry what's happened since then. I've taught in India. I've lived over there for a year or so. I've lived in Bali for a few years. I've taught there. I've been to many other countries in Iran and taught. So I lived overseas for about 7 odd years. Then I felt a call to come and build the sanctuary for the last, say, 4-ish years in Sydney. And then a year ago to start the Sanctuary TV as the lockdown happened a second time. So it's really like, it's a continuous birthing of creation for everyone. It's not just like, oh, you find your thing, your life's done. It's like, we're always looking to create. We're always looking to birth the next chapter. We're always, feeling like, do we need to be in this relationship or move forward or start this program or not? It's like a continuous waxing and waning, and many people don't know that. They're just stuck. They're just thinking like, all right, I've got my house, I've got my kids, or I've got my job, and that's just how life is. It's like a box, you see. So no, it's not like that. we wax and wane. You know, women, we wax and wane every 2 days. Men wax and wane every 30 days. So we have quite different systems, men and women, of course. So just bringing it back to what I'm saying, sharing my journey of when I was born, and this is what I want to share from Yogi Bhajan. Everyone is born a saint. Everyone's born pure. And I remember, you know, grabbing hold of my grandpa's leg, just feeling like love, wanting to share love, but it wasn't like people don't know how to receive it. But I just remember just, you know, being so pure and open and just like launching onto him, you know, and that's just what I did. I have those memories and wanting to do his hair, you're just wanting to share love. And that's what we want to do. But there's just so much that's happened. A lot of people are like, got so many blocks. You're literally just defending, you're reacting, you know, it's like that. You're just like full of armor and you're just like battling through life, you know. So, and then you're like, what's my purpose? Well, how can you get on your purpose if you're full of blocks and your vibration's off, you know, and you're not praying, you're not feeling grateful for things you have and calling in more beautiful abundance, and you're not feeling, how can you can't. And then people are like, oh, I don't know my purpose, and I keep getting, you know, these annoying guy, and it's just like, but look at your energy field. What are you saying to yourself every day? Are you clearing your brain? Are you getting in the sunshine? Are you know, feeling love inside of you? No, well, of course that's going to be happening around you. See how it's like taking massive responsibility. So the quote from Yogi Bhajan in 1974, so 10 years before I was even born, is everyone is born a saint, innocent. Be innocent and be humble. Flow. So amazing. Be innocent. How good is this advice? So just think about our life right now, working, just be innocent, be humble, flow, share with others, share your information, but do not push. Wow, how easy is it to just push and try and push your products on someone, or push further your agenda, you know, and you get pushed back if you keep pushing like that. So every individual has to grow. So what I was just saying, we're all here to continually create. Your life's not a box. We're in a box house, we're in a box car, we're looking at a box phone, we're sitting at a box desk, we're looking at a box computer. No wonder we're feeling like we're just stuck in a box. But every individual, we have to grow. If we're not growing, we are suffering, we are stagnant. Live most relaxed and feel fun about everything. To live most relaxed. Only when we're relaxed can the heart actually open up. That was something that really helped me to see what's going on. You know, you're clasping onto money, you're clasping onto your relationship, you're grasping on, and you just feel pretty stagnant, pretty apathetic, pretty average, don't you? Because your heart can't open. Like when you're a little kid and you just jump onto your grandpa's leg wanting to just give that love. That's how we naturally are. And through this technology of cleaning the nadis, all the energy out and all the rubbish out from our life and past lives and everything, we can have a now experience with the universe, with our own machinery and with other people, and actually have a real conversation. That's what I notice when I go traveling. Or I just went and saw an amazing chiropractor today. He's really in the moment. He's really loving what he's doing. And there's a real conversation happening. Have you noticed with a lot of people who, if they're not practicing or, you know, there's no real conversation. It's just like barking at each other. You realize that? Yeah, so have fun and so be relaxed and feel a fun. Life's meant to be fun. I'm going to leave it there because this lecture's been going on over half an hour and we have super duper massive exciting news. Men can come, yay! So if you know any men in your life, your brother, your boyfriend, your husband, a friend, on the 25th of September, we have the Sacred Temple and it's our chance to come together to slow down, to learn these tantric practices, breathe and circulate the energy of life through the body. And when you deeply start to feel, that's a big thing. A lot of us, we felt as that little innocent child and we're numb now, or we're really unable to feel deeply because a lot of it's piled up and it's scary to feel. And maybe you're just building a business running forward and there's a lot of stuff that's piled up, but then how do you manifest the beautiful intimate relationship? How do you have deep, satisfying lovemaking? It's not possible. You have to be able, for men and women, to deeply clean out the emotional body. So we're going to do a sequence at the event to really purge the emotions out and start to be able to be alive again and feel. From this feeling place, you can attract what you desire. If you really, really love travel, think and love, feel how amazing it feels to travel, and then you magnetize those opportunities to you. But if you can't really feel, how can you manifest? It's just, see, feelings really, really important. And that's why we've said, we've been indoctrinated into this matrix of saying feelings are weak, you see. So if you hear anything you've learned, kind of think maybe it's the opposite. So especially with men, if anyone's just in your masculine, it's exhausting, isn't it? When do you ever get to surrender to that mystery of life? When do you get to relax into the waters of the ocean, and play in that? When, this is the beauty of life, isn't it? So this is what we want. This is powerful. Tears have there's 4 different types of tears on the body. It's a sign, it's a mechanism so that when they come out of your eyes, your body feels the chemicals in them and it knows what kind of tears they are. So it knows what to do, how to regulate your hormones, how to heal you. This is what's happening. So I have some women I mentor who will say, I don't cry. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're a woman and crying is very important. It's not weak. I had a gorgeous man the other couple of days ago have a VIP retreat at the sanctuary, and something that came up was he said, I thought this was soft. I thought that coming to a place like this is pathetic for a guy, and let alone and crying, it's just weak and soft. And he said because he lost his mum a year ago, he released, and then the next day he was so strong. I said, look at you, you're glowing, you've got zest for life, your immune's better, you can hold deeper space for me. And I said, because you let yourself cry. It's like that. The last thing that I'll share, do you remember what the Brett Lee, is it Brett Lee? No, the famous fighter guy, he said, be like water. What is water? Water is your emotions. Water is your emotional body. How strong was that guy? Be like water. You see? No, I'm not saying cry all the time. There's obviously a time to know when you've cried, and then you can really, move forward and get back into focusing on something, or you're grieving, and then it's a time to evolve from that place and learn. It's not a place to be a victim, which some people can just be looking for attention. So it's knowing yourself, knowing your truth, honoring your truth. And this is what this technology gives us. Your truth. Like if you're just like, oh, like you're trying to get attention, you kind of, you know what you're doing. So I'm going to love you and leave you. If you do want to come to the Sacred Temple, it's at a new location. It's really exciting in Banks Meadow, which is 17 minutes south of Bondi Beach, at a beautiful Awake Water warehouse. So a bigger space, we can fit more people in, and it's really, no one's around us. So it's a gorgeous conductor of energy, because there's 20,000 liters of this spring water that's around us in the space. So it's a conductor of healing and energy in there. And we're going to have the gong, sound healing. We're going to have a workshop from a guest speaker, Sansan, who's doing an inner child healing session as well. So we can start to connect to the little child in ourselves. Very important if we want to have healthy, strong, intimate relationships with anyone. Because just like that man that was attacking me today in the email, I just knew in my brain that's his inner child having a tantrum at me. See what's going on? Because his child is angry and he doesn't know about it, he hasn't healed it. And so it's just like, this is ridiculous, like, it's like, so I was actually trying to not taking it too serious, started laughing, thank God. And whereas before I would freak out, I would get involved in that drama. So that'll help you a lot, because the last thing I'm going to leave you with is, a lot of us think, oh, I'm not living the life that I want to live, or like because of my negative beliefs. That is one part of the puzzle. However, it's more than that. It's because we don't feel safe. You see, we don't feel safe to fully expand our wings, to fully go for it. We don't feel safe. So I'm just going to leave you with that. That's a really great little bit of to ponder. How safe do I feel? And then we can really regulate the nervous system doing these practices and keep the heart open by practicing every day, and start to understand, why don't I feel totally safe to go for it, to start the side hustle, to raise the income, to hold more things in my life, to really live my life on that higher level that I'm desiring, or go and date the person, or why don't I feel worthy of that and like safe, and I'm kind of playing small. You see, that's a great to have just a ponder on that as we finish. So if anyone has any questions with anything that I've said, or you need any support, if anything's coming up for you that I've been going through, as I know I've spoken about a lot of things, please DM me on Instagram or Facebook, or run an email, info@thesanctuaryaustralia.com. Happy to answer your questions. Have a beautiful evening and good night, everyone.